What's up, everybody? I felt compelled to make a video. I don't really like getting on camera too much because this is more of a face for maybe radio or something like that. I'm not very much on the visual part of the audio visual, but I'm at one of my favorite spots. I think it's an important spot in every household. Kitchen table, man. That's a place where I did have some fond memories growing up. Eating as a family. We didn't eat together a lot because of just varying work hours of different family members and stuff like that. But we'd have friends over and stuff, and my mom would make a big seafood spread, and everybody be cracking crabs and have corn on the cob and all that kind of stuff, shrimp. And it was just a good place to bond and just, talk. And I think that's missing in a lot of families, mostly here in America these days. To take half an hour, and have a proper sit down meal with your family and just talk, say, hey, how was your day? And really have that one on one communication instead of, these things we're typing with our thumbs on all the time. But I want everybody to meet a special friend of mine. I've known this little guy, and I think as a guy, he's, old school, colors for boys was always blue. So this is Mr. Duck. And I've known Mr. Duck since I was probably, I don't know, 8. And Mr. Duck used to be in my mom's kitchen. My mom had this, back then it was pretty cool, like this bar area, not like a bar that you drink at, but like this wraparound counter and stuff. And we had some stools that everybody could sit at and just eat, have a quick lunch or something like that, have some snacks. But I wasn't feeling very good. I think I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and I was really under the weather. I can't remember what my ailment was. I was sick quite often as a kid, having bronchitis and asthma and all that kind of stuff. I could get pneumonia at the drop of a hat. Had double pneumonia a couple times as a small kid. But I was sitting with Mr. Duck, and I told my mom, I said, Mr. Duck doesn't feel very good. Can I have a Band-Aid? So my mom went and got a Band-Aid, and I put a little Band-Aid around Mr. Duck's bill. Made Mr. Duck feel a little bit better. I went about my way. And about age 9 or 10, went on my little adventure, as a lot of you who know me know. And lost contact with Mr. Duck for, I don't know, a good 10 years or so. Well, then around 1998, I went down south to Louisiana, was reunited with my mom, and established a relationship with her and my Louisiana dad, Chuck. And first time I went down to their house on Grand Isle, Louisiana, who was there? My old buddy, Mr. Duck. And after all that time, I was 19 years old. And first time I seen Mr. Duck in all those years. And at that time, Mr. Duck, he still had a Band-Aid around that bill. And I can't remember if my mom said she replaced it or if it was the original, but it was still there. And that was kind of a reminder, my mom never forgot that I wanted to make Mr. Duck feel better because I wasn't feeling very good. Well, anybody that knows me well and knows my story, everybody's got a story, man. Everybody's been through some rough times in their life. Sometimes rough times last longer than others. Sometimes those rough times are put on by self. Sometimes they're, introduced by somebody else, and you're young and you can't help but have to go through those tough times. But when you become an adult, there's a choice. You can either grow from those tough times and realize that nobody's perfect, and some people try harder than others of wanting to be a decent human being. Some people have had their own stories and their own tough times, and they've never gotten past them. They've carried them on their shoulders their whole lives. And even though maybe friends or family want to give them the tools to help them out, they choose not to take help, and they just carrying that burden is normal to them. So that's what they do, and it's cyclical a lot of times. And this goes on for generations and generations. And this baggage and traumas are just handed down to the next person in line. And it keeps going on, and it's taught, it's handed down like a bad gift. And it just becomes normal to everybody. But as an adult, you have a choice. You always have a choice. You can either keep perpetuating that cycle, or you can choose to break that cycle. And the harder choice is breaking that cycle. There's a lot of work to it, and there's a lot of self-reflection. Nobody's perfect. I've always tried to live my life doing well and making the better choices that I can. I've made mistakes, and sometimes my intentions were good and the result wasn't of how I imagined. And that's just life. But just like Mr. Duck, you can see Mr. Duck here, he got the Band-Aid off his bill. Mr. Duck was feeling better. And that was years ago when, I inherited Mr. Duck. Because Mr. Duck was, he wasn't a huge part of my life when I was little, but there was that one moment that it stuck out. That here I was, a little kid, and I wanted to make something feel better, even though I felt bad myself. There's a lesson in that. Where their intentions are good to do that, you can't always do that for people. Some people do take advantage of people like that, the good-hearted ones. I certainly went through that for years. A lot of you know details of situations I put myself in, trying to help people, and it 99 times out of 100, it did not work out well. Feelings always got hurt, and they were almost always mine. But I'm the one that put myself in that situation. There's also a choice. For years, I was bitter about that here I am, I'm trying to be a decent human being, giving and giving and giving and giving to everybody, and they're just taking and taking and not giving any positive feedback back to me. They're just using and manipulating, and it was cyclical. I put myself in numerous situations like that. The people were different. The only thing that changed were the names, and half the time the first names didn't even change. But I can laugh about that stuff now because I've learned to let go. The hurt's not there anymore. I've looked within myself a couple years ago. I had a Band-Aid, a big Band-Aid, right there. And sometimes you gotta rip that thing off, man. It stings, but it's what you gotta do. So, Mr. Duck, he's healed, and they say time heals all wounds. It takes more than time. It takes effort. It takes self-reflection, and it takes letting go. You have to let go of the fact that not everybody is going to be good-natured, and because we're all human, you can't hold that against people. You got to forgive them, and you got to move on, and just know that you try to do the right thing. And doing things for people, there shouldn't be any reward at the end anyhow. Because if you're trying to do the right thing, it should be selfless. there should be no motivation other than wanting to do the right thing to begin with. There shouldn't be any reward or, somebody giving a prize or anything back. Sorry, I had to hiccups this. Got my second cup of coffee here. Yeah, that's how J Rock's wired to wind down. He has some caffeine. But no, I just wanted to share that. For a long time, I was living in disappointment. Trying to live up to others' expectations, and now I'm free of all that. Um, I set small goals and I set large goals for myself. And honestly, I know I don't look like much, but I've actually had people that have known me a while see me recently out in public and stuff. I do go out in public, um, and they compliment me on how well I look. I know I don't. This doesn't really look all that great right now, but I'm healthy. I'm I don't use the word happy. I'm content um, with who I am. I'm content with the choices I've made the past couple of years, being wiser and not repeating the same cycle that I had been in for the past 10, 15, 20 years. Some people may say I'm a little bit self-absorbed right now. And if you think that, that's fine. But I put myself on the back burner almost all my life for other people, and my time's now. You know, I'm in the waning years of my career. I've got 8.5 years left of that. Then I'm going to retire and maybe hustle some work on the side, and I'm going to do what I want to do. If I find somebody in the meantime that wants to take a journey and have some fun and spend some time, that's cool. If not, you know, whoever's missing out, what can I say? But I ain't even gonna be butthurt about that because I can have fun by myself and enjoy strangers' company, talking to strangers out in public, cracking jokes. You know, I see people out, just at the gym or going to pick something up to eat or karaoke, and a little 30-second conversation or a couple minute conversation, that means the world to me. You know, it's all perception. And like that little Michael J. Fox video that I shared, if you find little things like that to be grateful for, you can get through life, man. You just got to find those little things that, even if they only make you smile for a couple of minutes, at least it makes you smile. So find your smile and always make time for yourself. Set goals for yourself. Be introspective and look within yourself and realize that you're not perfect neither. We're all going to make mistakes, but how can you do better tomorrow? And I think that's the first step of making this world a better place. It starts with ourselves. So I'm going to wrap this up because this is going to turn into some like big documentary and stuff. And I know y'all ain't got time for that. But I love you guys. And I wish you guys the best. Times are kind of tough right now financially for a lot of people. But tough times don't last forever. You got to just keep plugging along. Have a cup of Joe. Have a friend like Mr. Duck. They don't have to say much, but they're there. Take care.